Elias Thorne knew the land. Every furrow, every stone, every whisper of wind through the rustling cornfields of Oakhaven Valley. He was a farmer through and through, his hands calloused, his back aching from honest labor. His system interface, usually a quaint overlay tracking crop yields, weather patterns, and livestock health, was a practical tool, not a fantastical one. His current quest, for instance, was decidedly mundane. Quest: Winter prep, last harvest. Description: Bring in the final corn harvest before the first frost. Objective: Harvest 500 units of corn. Reward: 50 experience points, improved livestock health, minor. Failure: Reduced winter yield, potential crop blight. Elias sighed, wiping sweat from his brow. The moon, full and impossibly red, hung low over the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows across the fields. Halloween night. The kids in the village were doubtless enjoying their costumes and candy. Elias, however, had work to do. Name: Elias Thorne class, farmer, master, level 7. Level 7, 681,000 experience points. Primary attributes: Strength, 15 for manual labor. Constitution, 14 for endurance. Wisdom, 12 for understanding nature's cycles. Presence, 8, he preferred his fields to people. Ore skills: bountiful harvest, passive. Increases yield and quality of harvested. Crops, animal husbandry, advanced. Improves health and productivity of livestock, nature sense, basic. Active, detects changes in local flora and fauna. Mana cost, 5. Stalwart endurance, passive. Grants minor resistance to fatigue and environmental effects. He moved methodically through the cornfield, the rustling stalks taller than a man. The scent of drying corn, earth, and approaching winter was usually comforting. Tonight it felt wrong. The air was too still, too heavy. The red moon cast an oppressive, almost malevolent glow. Then the system glitched. It wasn't a flicker, but a violent, tearing distortion. The familiar green overlays of his stats and quests dissolved into a chaotic swirl of orange and black, like spilled ink. The comforting scent of earth was suddenly overwhelmed by a powerful acrid smell, something like burnt leaves and sickly sweet rot. The cornfield around him began to writhe. Not with wind, but with an unnatural, independent motion. The dry husks twisted, hardened, and then, with a sickening crack, they fused together. The cornstalks themselves became gnarled, thorny whips. The ground beneath his feet pulsed with an unnatural organic rhythm. His nature sense, basic skill screamed, warning him of a profound, catastrophic corruption. His system interface, after a moment of terrifying chaos, snapped back into place, but it was horrifyingly different. Alert. System integrity compromised. Primordial harvest paradigm detected. Catastrophic event. The Harvest Lord's game activated. Warning. All natural environments and crop-based life have become sentient and hostile. New threat. Harvest monsters have manifested physically. Elimination is possible. New resource. Blighted essence. Collect for survival and power. New class category. Harvest-infused classes available. New quest. Survive the Harvest Lord's game. Elias felt a cold dread seize him. This wasn't a game. This was his home. His livelihood. His corn. He looked around. The cornfield was no longer just a field. It was a forest of aggressive, thorny vines, its tassels replaced by glowing, malevolent orange eyes. The pumpkins in his front yard, usually just decorations, had transformed into grinning, squat monsters with sharp, wooden teeth, animated cornstalker, hostile, level 5 health, 80, defense, thorny husk abilities, vine lash, seed burst, grinning pumpkin golem, hostile, level 10, health 150, defense, hardened rind, abilities, pumpkin slam, rotten seed shot. A piercing shriek echoed from the farmhouse. His wife Sarah, his daughter Lily? They were inside. He dropped his harvesting sickle. The system immediately registered it. Item identified, farmer's sickle. Effect, minor slashing damage. New attack skill acquired, sickle slash, basic, active. A melee attack with a sharp farming tool. Mana cost, 8. Elias, a man who nurtured life, now clutched a sharpened tool meant for cutting plants, but now, horrifyingly, for fighting them. He was a farmer, not a warrior. But his family was in danger. He saw his dog, Old Bess, a loyal farm dog, NPC, barking furiously at the edge of the field, a menacing animated cornstalker towering over her. New optional quest, protect Old Bess. Description: your loyal farm dog is under attack. Objective: defeat the animated cornstalker threatening Old Bess. Reward: 20. Experience points. Old Bess joins your party. Failure: Old Bess is lost. He couldn't leave Bess. He couldn't leave his family. He had to fight. His class menu flashed. Harvest-infused classes. One option, glowing with an ominous earthy light, was available. Class upgrade available. Harvest Warden. Requires 1,000 experience points. Description: a specialized class focused on understanding, manipulating, and combating corrupted natural entities. Grants access to plant-based offensive and defensive skills. Effect upgrade, Nature's Sense Basic to Nature's Fury Advanced. Gain, Vine Lash Basic. Gain Root Armor Basic. He was 320 experience points short. He needed to fight. He needed to adapt. He saw the animated cornstalker lashing out with its thorny vines at Old Bess. He roared, a sound of primal fury, and charged. He might be a farmer, but he was a protector. And this was his land. Elias charged towards the animated cornstalker, threatening Old Bess, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and protective rage. He held his farmer's sickle, its blade glinting ominously in the blood-red moonlight. "Get away from her, you overgrown weed!" He bellowed, swinging his sickle slash, basic, connected with the thorny husk of the cornstalker. The plant monster hissed, a sound of rustling leaves and grinding wood recoiling slightly. It didn't do much damage, but it bought Bess a precious second to scramble away. Animated cornstalker, hostile. Health, 70-80. The cornstalker retaliated, its thorny vine lashing out. Elias ducked, the vine whistling past his ear, leaving a faint burning trail where it almost touched him. His stalwart endurance, passive, gave him a minor edge in dodging, but he was no agile fighter. He continued to slash, again and again, his mana steadily depleting. Each sickle slash chipped away at the cornstalker's health. The monster spun, trying to ensnare him with its vines. "You have gained 5 experience points. Xiao, you have gained 1 blighted essence." X5, he was slowly whittling it down. But the cornstalker was relentless. It unleashed a seed burst, sending a volley of hard, sharp corn kernels at him. He raised his arm, his calloused skin taking the impact, tiny stinging pains blossoming across his forearm. "You have taken 5 physical damage." He pushed through the pain, delivering a final desperate slash. The cornstalker shrieked, its husk cracking open, its form dissolving into a pile of rotting plant matter and a shimmering green essence. Animated cornstalker defeated. "You have gained 50 experience points. You have gained 10 blighted essence." Old Bess whimpered, nudging his hand. He knelt, stroking her fur, relieved she was safe. Optional quest, protect Old Bess. Complete! You have gained 20 experience points. Old Bess has joined your party. Old Bess, farm dog, loyal companion. Grants, minor morale boost to nearby allies. He checked his experience points. He had 340 left. Still short of the class upgrade? He needed more. The shriek from the farmhouse echoed again, closer this time, filled with terror. "Sarah! Lily!" He ran towards the house, Old Bess at his heels, barking furiously. The front yard was a nightmare. His carefully tended garden was now a patch of writhing, thorny weeds, and the grinning pumpkin golems were gathered at his front door, repeatedly slamming their hardened rinds against it. The door was splintering. Grinning pumpkin golem hostile. Health 150-150. X2, these were tougher than the cornstalker. He couldn't take 2 of them head on, not with his current skills. He needed that class upgrade. He had to be smart. He scanned the yard with his Nature's Sense Basic. He noticed that the pumpkin golems were anchored by thick, fleshy roots that burrowed into the ground, drawing power from the corrupted earth. He looked at his inventory. He had 15 blighted essence. The system mentioned harvest-infused classes. He saw the broken fence posts, the fallen branches from the old oak tree. He needed a way to craft something. His farmer class, normally for growing, now hinted at something darker. He had a rudimentary understanding of crafting, basic, from years of repairing tools and fences. The system, in its twisted new form, was adapting. He focused his mana, recalling how he used to mend fences. He channeled his blighted essence into a sturdy fence post, blighted shard, basic, crafted. Description: a sharpened piece of wood infused with minor blighted energy. Deals minor physical and blighted damage. Mana cost: 10. Requires 5 blighted essence. He quickly crafted 3 blighted shards, 15 blighted essence. He now had 0 blighted essence. He knew what he had to do. He had to distract the golems, then target their roots. Bess! Bark at them! Keep them busy! Elias yelled. Old Bess, sensing the danger, barked furiously, drawing the attention of one of the pumpkin golems. While it lumbered towards her, Elias, using quick retreat, darted around the other. He plunged a blighted shard into the thick root protruding from its base. The golem shrieked, its hardened rind cracking. The blighted shard, infused with corrupted nature energy, caused it immense pain. Grinning pumpkin golem. Hostile. Health, 100-150. You have gained 10 experience points. You have gained 2 blighted essence. He pulled out the shard, plunged it in again. He repeated the process until the golem's health was low, then finished it with a series of sickle slashes. Grinning pumpkin golem defeated. You have gained 100 experience points. You have gained 20 blighted essence. He now had 100 experience points remaining. He ran to the last pumpkin golem, which was still distracted by Bess. He repeated his tactic, plunging the blighted shard into its root, then finishing it with sickle slashes. Grinning pumpkin golem defeated. You have gained 100 experience points. You have gained 20 blighted essence. You have enough experience points to level up. Confirm? And yes, he had enough. A surge of raw, earthy power, both ancient and terrifying, coursed through him. You have leveled up. You are now level 8. New skill point acquired. Strength +1, Constitution +1. Mana regeneration increased by 5%. Class upgrade available. Harvest Warden. Requires 0 experience points. He confirmed the class upgrade immediately. The feeling was profound. His connection to the land deepened, but now it was a dark connection. He could feel the corrupted pulses, the blighted essence flowing through the very soil beneath his feet. You have successfully upgraded your class to Harvest Warden, Apprentice. You have gained 50 experience points. Your class-specific skills have been updated. Nature's Fury, Advanced. Passive. Detects all corrupted natural entities. Identifies weaknesses, and can manipulate minor blighted flora. Vine Lash, Basic. Active. Summons a short range. Thorny Vine to lash out and deal blighted damage. Mana cost 15. Root Armor, Basic. Active. Temporarily conjures a layer of hardened root-like armor, providing minor physical defense. Mana cost 20. New skill acquired, Blighted Seed Shot Basic. Active. Launches a projectile seed infused with blighted energy, dealing minor blighted damage. Mana cost 10. He now had offense, defense, and ranged attacks, all born from the corrupted nature around him. He burst through the now doorless entrance of his farmhouse, his sickle ready. Inside, his wife Sarah, a homemaker NPC, and his daughter Lily, a child NPC, huddled in the corner, terrified. They were untouched, but his living room was a scene of chaos. His potted plants had become small, aggressive thorn sprites, level 3, and a massive, withered, wailing Trent, level 12, groaned from the center of the room. Its branches reaching for his family. New optional quest, Protect Your Family. Description: your family is trapped in the corrupted farmhouse. Objective: clear the farmhouse of blighted entities and create a temporary safe zone. Reward: 100 experience points, family morale boost, minor. Failure: loss of family. He had become a Harvest Warden, and his family needed him. Elias, now a Harvest Warden apprentice, entered his corrupted farmhouse. The scent of sweet rot was overwhelming. The living room pulsed with hostile plant life. His once peaceful home was a battlefield. The thorn sprites, the level 3, darted around, tiny, aggressive plants with sharp thorns. The massive wailing Trent, level 12, groaned from the center of the room, its withered branches reaching for Sarah and Lily. Stay down. Elias roared to his family, activating root armor, basic. A layer of tough, hardened roots instantly coalesced around his body, covering his arms, chest, and legs, providing a dark, natural armor. His mana dropped, but he felt a surge of confidence. He lunged at the closest Thorn sprite, extending his hand. Vine Lash Basic activated. A thick, thorny vine, conjured from the blighted energy around him, snaked out and slammed into the sprite. It shrieked, exploding into a shower of thorns and blighted dust. Thorn sprite defeated. You have gained 5 experience points. You have gained 1 blighted essence. He cleared the sprites methodically, using a combination of Vine Lash Basic and Sickle Slash Basic. His mana was depleting, but his family was safe for now. Thorn sprites defeated. X4. You have gained 20 experience points. You have gained 4 blighted essence. Now the Wailing Trent. It was a formidable foe, its wooden body incredibly tough. He used his Nature's Fury advanced skill. It revealed a glowing weakness, a pulsating blight node deep within its trunk. His Blighted Seed Shot, basic, would be perfect. He kept his distance, dodging the treant's slow, sweeping branch attacks, and fired. Blighted Seed Shot, basic. After Blighted Seed Shot, basic, slammed into the blight node. The Trent howled, its wooden form cracking. Wailing Trent, hostile. Health 80, 150. You have gained 10 experience points. You have gained 2 blighted essence. His mana was critically low. He had to finish it. He waited for an opening, then activated Vine Lash Basic one last time, extending a thick vine to ensnare one of the treant's legs, momentarily tripping it. He then charged his Sickle Slash Basic, connecting repeatedly with the weakened blight node. The treant roared, then shuddered, collapsing into a pile of rotting wood and glowing blight dust. Wailing Trent defeated. You have gained 150 experience points. You have gained 30 blighted essence. Optional quest, protect your family. Complete! You have gained 100 experience points. Family morale boost, minor, granted. Reputation with Thorne family has reached trusting. Elias, panting, felt a profound relief. His family was safe. Sarah and Lily rushed to him, hugging him tightly. Even old Bess nudged him affectionately. He checked his system. His total blighted essence was 57. His mana was slowly regenerating. He had enough experience points to level up. You have enough experience points to level up. Confirm? When confirmed. Another surge of raw earthen power. You have leveled up. You are now level 9. New skill point acquired. Wisdom +1, strength +1. Mana regeneration increased by 5%. New skill acquired. Blighted Spores basic. Active. Releases a cloud of blighted spores that deal minor area of effect blighted damage and can briefly disorient plant-based enemies. Mana cost 25. Requires 15 blighted essence. A new offensive crowd control skill. Excellent. He knew his farmhouse wasn't safe long-term. The Harvest Lord's game was still active. They needed to reach the village, to the sturdy stone buildings there. But the path would be dangerous. He needed to prepare. He used his crafting basic skill, now enhanced by his Harvest Warden class, to utilize his blighted essence. He needed something to protect his family during the journey. He looked at his inventory. He had some scrap metal from old farm equipment in the barn. Not natural, but perhaps it could be infused. He channeled his mana and blighted essence into the scrap metal, focusing on protection. Item crafted, blighted iron shield, basic. Description: a small shield made of farm scrap infused with blighted energy. Provides minor physical and blighted damage resistance. Mana cost 30. Requires 20 blighted essence. He crafted one for himself. He now had 37 blighted essence. He also crafted some blighted arrows, 5 blighted essence for 10 arrows, for his old hunting bow, which he knew was in the shed. He checked his old hunting bow. The system recognized it. Item identified, hunting bow. Effect, basic ranged weapon. New attack skill acquired, bow proficiency, basic. Passive, improves combat effectiveness with bow-type weapons. With his new blighted arrows, his bow became a viable ranged weapon. We need to get to the old smithy in the village, Elias told Sarah. Its stone walls are thick. It will be safer there. Sarah, though still frightened, nodded, her eyes filled with newfound respect for her husband. "Whatever you say, Elias, just keep us safe." He knew they couldn't just walk there. The fields were overrun. He needed to move them stealthily. He looked at the vast, corrupted cornfields stretching towards the village. His old nature's fury, advanced skill, evolved from nature's sense, now allowed him to perceive subtle weaknesses in the blighted plant growth. He saw patterns, gaps, even tunnels formed by the writhing roots. He would use his knowledge of the land, twisted as it was, to guide them. Old Bess, sensing the grim determination, barked softly, ready to protect her family. Elias, the Harvest Warden, now a protector and warrior, prepared to lead his family through the nightmarish landscape towards the sanctuary of the smithy. The Harvest Lord's game had just truly begun. The journey from Elias's farmhouse to the old smithy in Oakhaven Village was a grueling ordeal. The vast cornfields, his life's work, had become a treacherous, moving maze of animated cornstalkers, level 5, and massive thornwall growths, level 15, impenetrable barriers of densely packed hostile vines. Elias, wearing his newly crafted blighted iron shield basic, led the way, his hunting bow with blighted arrows ready. Sarah, carrying Lily, huddled close, while Old Bess, surprisingly agile, scouted ahead, her barks low warnings when danger approached. His nature's fury advanced, was their lifeline, painting a holographic map of the blighted landscape, highlighting safe paths, showing the movements of deeper, more dangerous entities lurking within the corrupted fields. He saw colossal grave. Golems, level 18, made of packed earth and withered roots, lumbering slowly, their movements shaking the ground. He saw shadowy, crow familiars, level 10, flocks of sentient, malicious crows circling overhead. He primarily relied on stealth and evasion. His stalwart endurance, passive, helped him endure the oppressive atmosphere and constant low-level blighted energy that drained his stamina. When confrontation was unavoidable, his blighted spores, basic, proved invaluable for disorienting groups of animated cornstalkers, allowing them to slip past. He also used his blighted seed shot, basic, to clear patches of smaller, aggressive weeds or to create temporary diversions. His blighted iron shield, basic, absorbed a few glancing blows from vine lashes and rotten seed shots, protecting him from more serious injury. You have gained 80 experience points from navigating dangerous terrain. You have gained 16 blighted, essence from successfully evading threats. They reached the outskirts of the village. The sight was horrifying. The quaint, peaceful homes were now partially overgrown with blighted vines. The roads were cracked, allowing corrupted roots to snake out like grasping tendrils. The village square, usually a vibrant hub, was now dominated by a massive, pulsating rotten heart tree, level 20, its branches writhing, spawning smaller, blighted creatures. And the villagers, some were gone, others were transformed, shambling figures with pallid skin and vacant eyes, their bodies overgrown with moss and fungi. These were blighted villagers, level 12, now extensions of the Harvest Lord's corrupted game. New core quest, secure the smithy. Description: the old smithy is the sturdiest structure in the village, but it is currently besieged. Objective: clear the smithy of blighted entities and establish it as a safe zone. Reward: 500 experience. Points: access to harvest crafting advanced. Title: Earthbound Protector. Failure: smithy falls. Village becomes a lost cause. The smithy. Its thick stone walls, its heavy iron door would be a sanctuary, but it was under attack. Several blighted villagers were hammering at the reinforced door, their mutated hands infused with blighted energy. And a monstrous pumpkin king, level 22, a colossal, multifaceted pumpkin with glowing, malevolent eyes, sat atop the smithy, directing the assault, its laughter echoing through the blighted air. Elias directed Sarah and Lily to hide in a crumbling old shed nearby. "Stay here. Don't move until I come for you." He took a moment to inspect the smithy with his nature's fury, advanced. He noticed something crucial. The thick, blighted vines that had overgrown much of the village were also empowering the blighted villagers and the Pumpkin King. If he could sever the major root systems feeding the smithy, it would weaken the assault. He also saw the old well in the village square. Its water, usually pure, was now tainted by blighted energy, but it pulsed with raw potential. Perhaps he could purify it. His mana was low and his blighted essence was 73. He had to prioritize. He had to clear the path to the smithy, but also weaken the Pumpkin King's hold. He looked at his class menu. He was almost level 10. He had enough experience points to level up. You have enough experience points to level up, confirm? YIN, he confirmed. A massive surge of earthy, ancient power, both dark and life-giving, coursed through him. You have leveled up. You are now level 10. New skill point acquired. Constitution. Y1, Wisdom, Pause 1. Mana regeneration increased by 5%. New skill acquired, Purify Blight, Basic, Active. Channels pure nature energy to temporarily cleanse minor blighted objects or areas. Mana cost, 40. Requires 20 blighted essence. This was exactly what he needed. Purify Blight, Basic. The well first, the blighted villagers. He couldn't kill his neighbors, but he could disorient them. He used blighted spores, Basic, Releasing. A cloud of spores that made the villagers cough and stumble, temporarily unable to attack the door. Then the roots. He used Vine Lash, Basic, with precise strikes, severing the thick, pulsating roots that snaked from the rotten heart tree to the smithy. Each severed root made the door shudder less, and the blighted villagers seemed to lose some of their aggressive frenzy. Major blighted roots severed. X3. You have gained 150 experience points. You have gained 30 blighted essence. The Pumpkin King atop the smithy roared, its voice like grinding gourds. It launched a volley of massive exploding pumpkins at him. He raised his blighted iron shield, Basic, bracing for impact. The shield took heavy damage, cracking, but holding. Blighted iron shield, Basic, health, 10-100. He couldn't fight the Pumpkin King yet. He needed to purify the well. He ran towards it, dodging another volley of pumpkins. He reached the well, its blighted water swirling with dark energy. He activated Purify Blight, Basic, channeling all his mana and 20 blighted essence into the well. The dark water began to shimmer, then glow with a pure emerald light. The blighted energy recoiled, evaporating into thin air. The well water, though still potent, was now clean. Blighted well purified. Pure nature energy detected. You have gained 200 experience points. New buff acquired. Nature's flow. Minor. Standing near a purified source of nature energy grants increased mana and health regeneration. He now had a strategic advantage. He had a source of healing and mana regeneration, and he had weakened the Pumpkin King's local control. The true battle for Oakhaven and the Harvest Lord's game was about to begin. Elias, now level 10 and standing beside the purified well, felt a surge of renewed strength. The Nature's Flow minor buff immediately began to regenerate his mana and health at a noticeable rate. His cracked, blighted iron shield, Basic, was still barely holding, but he felt ready. The Pumpkin King, level 22 atop the smithy, was enraged. Its multifaceted eyes glowed with pure malice, and it began to hurl massive, exploding blighted pumpkins with increasing frequency. The blighted villagers, though disoriented, were still a threat, slowly trying to breach the smithy door again. Elias had a plan. He had to clear the villagers, then confront the Pumpkin King. He used blighted spores, Basic, again, blanketing the villagers in a cloud of disorienting spores. While they stumbled, he used his blighted arrows, precise shots aimed at their weaker points, to knock them away from the door without lethal intent. Blighted villager incapacitated. X4, you have gained 100 experience points. You have gained 20 blighted essence. The smithy door was safe for now. Now the Pumpkin King Elias fired a blighted seed shot, Basic, at the colossal pumpkin. It struck the rind with a dull thud, doing minimal damage. This thing was incredibly tough. His nature's fury advanced, scanned it, revealing that its primary weakness was fire, which could consume its blighted plant matter. But he had no fire-based skills. He looked at his harvest crafting advanced skill, newly unlocked by his level 10 status. He had 83 blighted essence. He needed something powerful. Something that could set the Pumpkin King aflame. He remembered the old smithy. Inside, there would be a forge. Tools. Perhaps he could craft a weapon, or at least a powerful projectile imbued with intense blighted heat. He sprinted towards the smithy, dodging a colossal pumpkin that slammed into the ground where he had been standing. He burst through the now secured door. Inside, the smithy was dark, dusty, but thankfully free of blighted entities. The forge sat cold and still. He gathered some old coal, a few iron filings, and used his remaining blighted essence to force his harvest crafting advanced to conjure something. He focused on heat, on consumption, on purifying fire. He channeled 50 blighted essence and all his mana into the forge, igniting the coal with a burst of blighted energy. The forge roared to life, but with a sickly green flame. He then used his remaining 33 blighted essence and channeled the fire into an old, empty lantern, crafting Blighted Flame Lantern, Inferior. Description: a simple lantern containing unstable blighted flame. Can be thrown as an incendiary projectile. Volatile. Effect: deals area of effect blighted fire damage. Consumes 33 blighted essence. Single use, he had one shot. He now had 0 blighted essence and 0 mana. His blighted iron shield, basic, finally gave out, shattering into dust. He emerged from the smithy, the blighted flame lantern, inferior, clutched in his hand. The Pumpkin King roared, sensing his re-emergence, and launched another barrage of blighted pumpkins. Elias aimed the lantern. He hurled it with all his might, a green-tinged, fiery projectile soaring towards the Pumpkin King. The lantern struck the Pumpkin King squarely in its multifaceted face. It exploded in a burst of sickly green flame. The blighted fire immediately began to consume the massive pumpkin, its hardened rind cracking and blackening. The Pumpkin King shrieked, a sound of pure agony, its colossal form writhing as the flames consumed it. Its blighted energy flared, then began to dissipate. Pumpkin King defeated. You have gained 1,000 experience points. You have gained 200 blighted essence. The immense blighted energy of the Pumpkin King, now released, surged into Elias. His harvest crafting advanced skill pulsed, upgrading itself. Core quest, secure the smithy, complete. You have gained 500 experience points. Harvest crafting advanced upgraded to harvest crafting master. You have gained the legendary title, Earthbound Protector. The remaining blighted entities in the village, no longer directed by the Pumpkin King, began to falter, their aggressive energies receding. The rotten heart tree in the square pulsed erratically, its branches no longer writhing with malevolence. The Harvest Lord's game was still active, but its local forces were crippled. Elias, now covered in ash and blighted residue, felt a profound exhaustion. But he had saved the smithy. He had saved his family. And he had learned something important. The Harvest Lord's game was not invincible. He called for Sarah and Lily. They emerged from the shed, tearfully embracing him. Old Bess barked joyfully. He looked at his system. He had a massive amount of blighted essence, 283. His mana was slowly refilling from the purified well. He was level 10 capped. He knew his next step, the Harvest Lord, the deity who had initiated this horrific game. He had to confront it, but how? He was a harvest warden, a master of blighted nature, but he couldn't fight a god. He needed to understand the Harvest Lord's game, its rules, its purpose. He needed to find a way to end it, not just win a local skirmish. His harvest crafting master skill now presented a new, intriguing option. Unique recipe available, Ritual Totem of Balance, requires 250 blighted essence, 200 mana. Description: a complex totem that can channel and balance corrupted and pure nature energies. Used to commune with or influence primordial nature entities. This was it. Not a weapon, but a means of communication. A way to influence. He had to craft this totem. He had to find the Harvest Lord, and he had to make it understand that its game was destroying his world, not purifying it. With the smithy secured and his family safe within its stone walls, Elias turned his attention to the ultimate goal, confronting the Harvest Lord. He rested, his mana and health slowly replenishing from the nature's flow minor buff of the purified well. He had 283 blighted essence. He spent hours in the smithy, using his newly upgraded harvest crafting master skill. He meticulously crafted the Ritual Totem of Balance. He used old tools, fragments of purified wood from the smithy's rafters, and carefully channeled his vast stores of blighted essence and mana. The crafting process was intricate, requiring deep focus and an almost spiritual connection to both corrupted and pure nature. Ritual Totem of Balance crafted. You have consumed 250 blighted essence and 200 mana. Your mana has been depleted. The totem was beautiful, a synthesis of dark, gnarled roots and gleaming, polished wood intertwined with emerald glowing, purified essence. It hummed with a quiet, powerful energy, a beacon of balance. He had 33 blighted essence remaining. His nature's fury, advanced, now pointed him towards the source of the Harvest Lord's immense power, an ancient grove deep within the valley, a place long rumored to be sacred, but now radiating an overwhelming aura of malevolence and blighted energy. It was the Harvest Lord's Grove. Core quest: confront the Harvest Lord. Description: the Harvest Lord's game originates from the primordial entity in its ancient grove. Objective: reach the Harvest Lord's Grove and use the Ritual Totem of Balance to influence the Harvest Lord. Reward: end of the Harvest Lord's game. Legendary title: Champion of the Harvest. Failure: irreversible corruption of the land, your spirit absorbed by the Harvest Lord. He couldn't bring his family. This was a confrontation he had to face alone. He bid Sarah and Lily a somber farewell, promising to return. Old Bess, sensing the gravity of the situation, whined softly, but Elias knew she had to stay and guard his family. He set off, armed with his Ritual Totem of Balance, his farmer's sickle, and his bow with a few remaining blighted arrows. The journey to the Harvest Lord's Grove was a true test of his Harvest Warden skills. The lands around the grove were apocalyptic. The trees were massive, skeletal husks dripping with sap, their roots tearing the earth apart. The ground was choked with aggressive, thorny undergrowth. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the Harvest Lord's presence. He encountered new, more terrifying entities, grave golems, level 18. Lumbering giants of earth and bone, animated by pure blighted energy. Shrieking harpies, level 15. Humanoid bird-like creatures made of withered leaves and bone swooped from the blighted trees, their cries disorienting. He used blighted spores, basic, to temporarily blind the harpies, then focused his blighted arrows on their brittle wings, forcing them to land. He engaged the grave golems in guerrilla tactics, using his vine lash basic to trip them, then circling to strike their exposed root hearts with his sickle/basic. His root armor, basic, was constantly active, absorbing the worst of their blighted attacks. You have gained 200 experience points from overcoming powerful enemies. You have gained 40 blighted essence from defeated entities. His mana was constantly low, forcing him to be strategic, retreating to areas of lesser blight to allow his passive regeneration to kick in. He was pushing his physical and mental limits. His stalwart endurance, passive, kept him going, fueled by a grim determination. He finally reached the heart of the Harvest Lord's Grove. It was a massive, circular clearing dominated by a colossal, ancient oak tree. But this was no ordinary oak. Its bark was black and gnarled, its branches like skeletal fingers reaching into the blood-red sky. Its roots, thick as houses, pulsed with dark power, forming a vast organic throne upon which sat the Harvest Lord. The Harvest Lord was a terrifying figure. It was humanoid, but gargantuan, its body made of woven straw, gnarled wood, and glowing blighted pumpkins. Its face was a single massive carved pumpkin, its eyes burning with orange fire, its mouth a gaping, toothy maw. It radiated an aura of immense primordial power. Boss encounter: the Harvest Lord. Warning: primordial nature god detected. Extreme dissonance and blight detected. Prepare for significant blight corruption. Elias's blight corruption meter instantly spiked to 50%. He felt a wave of despair, of hopelessness trying to overwhelm him. The sheer power of the Harvest Lord was staggering. He was level 10 capped. It was a god. Mortal, the Harvest Lord boomed, its voice like thunder and rustling leaves. You dare trespass on my sacred game. You, a mere tiller of soil? You understand nothing of the true harvest. I understand enough to know you're destroying my home, Elias retorted, gripping the Ritual Totem of Balance tightly. This isn't a game. It's an apocalypse. Nature purges the weak. Mortals have become soft, unnatural. The Harvest Lord thundered. My game restores the balance. Only the strong, the truly wild, will survive my harvest. It launched a devastating attack. Blighted Torrent. Active level 30. A wave of thorny vines, blighted spores, and razor-sharp leaves surged towards Elias. He activated root armor, basic, but he knew it wouldn't be enough. He also raised his Ritual Totem of balance. The wave slammed into him. His root armor, basic, shattered instantly. He was thrown backwards, slammed against a blighted tree, his body aching, his health dropping precariously. His blight corruption meter hit 75%. He was barely conscious. You have taken 500 blight damage. Blight corruption, 75%. Health 51,000. He was beaten. But the Ritual Totem of balance, though it had not protected him physically, pulsed brightly. It was channeling the pure nature energy it had gathered, resisting the Harvest Lord's blighted assault. It wasn't a weapon. It was a symbol, a plea. He looked at the Harvest Lord. It was not evil, not entirely. It was primordial, a force of nature driven by a warped sense of balance. It believed it was cleansing the world, pruning the weak in its brutal game. Elias, barely able to stand, held up the Ritual Totem of balance. He didn't attack. He just focused, channeling his last vestiges of mana and will into the totem, pushing its pure, balanced energy towards the colossal deity. He was trying to make it see. Elias Thorne, battered and broken, clung to consciousness, his blight corruption meter at a critical 75%. The colossal Harvest Lord loomed over him, its pumpkin eyes burning, its blighted form radiating immense power. It raised a massive, gnarled hand, ready to deliver a final, crushing blow. But Elias held up the Ritual Totem of balance, its pure light shining brightly, even through his blurring vision. He wasn't attacking. He was communicating. He channeled every ounce of his remaining will and the last drops of his mana into the totem, broadcasting a silent, desperate message. He thought of his farm, his family, the warmth of the sun on ripening corn, the gentle lowing of his cattle. He thought of the village, its human kindness, its simple joys. He thought of the beauty of a natural, unspoiled harvest. He thought of the balance, not of brutal culling, but of life and nourishment. He projected all of this, all the purest aspects of his farmer class, amplified by his Harvest Warden connection to nature, through the totem. The Harvest Lord paused. Its burning eyes, filled with ancient malevolence, focused on the totem. The pure, balanced energy flowing from it was unlike any dissonance it had encountered. It wasn't a challenge. It was an argument. A truth. The blighted aura around the Harvest Lord flickered. Its colossal form seemed to waver. Elias's message, channeled by the Ritual Totem of balance, was reaching it, penetrating its primordial, warped understanding. It saw the devastation it had wrought, not through the lens of necessary culling, but through the totem's lens of true balance. It saw the suffering, the chaos, the unnatural aspect of its game. Its own power, meant for bountiful harvest, was being twisted into blight and destruction. The very system designed to foster life was being corrupted. The Harvest Lord let out a low, guttural sound. Not a roar of fury, but a groan of realization. Its burning pumpkin eyes dimmed, then slowly, agonizingly began to change. The malevolent orange receded, replaced by a soft, golden glow. The blighted wood and straw of its body began to shimmer, transforming into rich, fertile earth and vibrant, healthy plant matter. The colossal tree behind it, the source of its power, also began to change. Its black, skeletal branches softened, budding with emerald leaves. Its roots, which had formed the throne of blight, now pulsed with pure, verdant energy. The Harvest Lord's game, the entire system, shuddered. And then, a system-wide message, no longer corrupted, but resonating with immense, benevolent power. Primordial entity, the Harvest Lord, balance restored. Catastrophic event, the Harvest Lord's game resolved. Core quest, confront the Harvest Lord, complete. Massive experience points bonus, awarded 500,000 experience points. Your level is now capped at 10 until you undergo a class apotheosis. All core Harvest Warden skills have been upgraded to Primordial rank. You have gained the legendary title, Champion of the Harvest. The Harvest Lord has acknowledged your service and wisdom. New passive skill acquired. Primordial Nature Affinity, passive. Grants profound connection and influence over natural energies, both pure and residual blight. Minor passive regeneration of health and mana when in natural environments. New skill acquired. Harmonious Growth, basic. Active. Channels pure nature energy to accelerate growth. Purify minor blight or soothe hostile natural entities. Mana cost, variable. Elias felt a profound sense of peace wash over him. The blight corruption meter vanished. His health and mana instantly fully regenerated. The grove, once a place of terrifying blighted power, now pulsed with serene, vibrant life. The Harvest Lord, no longer a monstrous pumpkin but a magnificent, towering figure made of intertwining pure wood, green leaves and golden grain, knelt before Elias. Its golden eyes, now benevolent, gazed at him with respect. It extended a hand, and from its palm, a single, perfectly ripened golden ear of corn materialized. You have taught me balance. Mortal, the Harvest Lord boomed, its voice now harmonious, filled with the rustle of healthy leaves and the gentle whisper of wind. My game was flawed, my purpose twisted by righteous anger. You have shown me the true strength of the harvest, not in destruction, but in protection, in harmony. The game is ended. The balance is restored. The Harvest Lord then dissolved into a shower of golden light and fertile seeds, sinking back into the earth, its presence now a nurturing rather than malevolent force. The massive oak tree in the center of the grove pulsed once more, becoming a beacon of pure nature energy. Elias, the champion of the harvest, stood alone in the now rejuvenated grove, clutching his ritual totem of balance and the golden ear of corn. He was no longer just a farmer. He was the one who had communed with a god, taught it wisdom, and saved his world from a devastating, unnatural harvest. He turned, the golden ear of corn shimmering in his hand, and began the long walk back to Oakhaven. His family awaited. His farm awaited. And the system, now benevolent once more, surely had new, more harmonious quests for the champion of the harvest. His work, though grander now, was still rooted in the land.